Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Easter egg guide here on the channel. Today is another long one and another tough one. 9 is by no means an easy Easter egg, so I felt like making this guide was really important, and also 9's Easter egg is really good with an epic ending. So, this is a guide, so I hope you guys enjoy this guide. And without further ado, let's go and get to the setup needed for 9. Also, by the way, guys, I've been making polls after every single episode, and you guys can vote for the next. And, yeah, without further ado, let's go and hop into the 9 Easter egg guide with the setup. So, as always, BO4 setup is actually really important, unlike in the previous games. So, for Gobblegums, I recommend you have anywhere but here to get you out of easy, sticky situations. Temporal gifts, which will be very useful for gifts from the crowd. Stock option, which we're going to be using in one of the steps of the Easter egg. Equipment, which we're going to be using Wraith Fire, so that would be very useful just for extra damage. And that's going to be it for elixirs. I don't really use megas, so that's going to be it. For perks, I use PhD Slider, because we're actually going to be using the Helion Salvo here, so that's really good. But we also have, for Raw, we also have Stamina Up, and we also have Dying Wish, which basically gives you another life. And Odin, we're going to be using Winter's Wail. Now, all of these are very unique, and you don't actually need Winter's Wail on your modifier slot for this map. You can switch it with whatever else you would like, Stamina Up or something. But that is going to be our setup. As always, we're going to be using the hammer Wraith Fires, and the Strife with a knife attachment. Without further ado, let's go and hop into 9. Now, as soon as you spawn in, we're going to want to head to one of the 4 flags on the map beside the gates and melee the rope holding it up. The thing will then come down and reveal a challenge. Try and complete this challenge. All of them are pretty simple, and you want to get this done as an earliest round as possible. So just complete these challenges. The first one gives you an extra life, very useful. The second one gives you a I'm actually not too sure. I think a full power or something. I don't know. But the second one gives you something. And then for the third one, you actually get a free Pack-a-Punch Strife, which is excellent. And I've also pick up this part on the podium right here. After you do this, you can then go ahead and head to the Raw statue or the Danu, whichever one you want to do. And go ahead and summon the champion. After you do this, go ahead and take them down and collect its head. After you do this, we're going to be looking for a shield part inside the Raw temple. The first one can be right here, but up against this wall. The next one is right beside it as well, and the next one is also right beside the Raw perk right here. This is the first part of the shield. After you killed both the champions of the first 2 temples, you're going to want to head to the underground area through the collapsed tunnel, or whatever way you want to go. You just open up to the bottom of the map, and you're going to want to enter through the pit. You can even pick up the Spitfire. It's a very good gun. But you're then going to want to head over here, open up into the Underground-Zeus entrance, and head up and summon the champion of both as well. You're going to want to probably take the bridge across to get to each and every one. Now we're going to be looking for the other 2 shield parts. Now for the Odin one, the first one can spawn up against this little pillar thing in the fire pit room. The next one can spawn in this little sword or shield thing right here, and the next one's going to be at the very top of the tower right beside the the Odin perk right here. For Zeus, you're going to want to head into the temple, and the top one can be on this little statue's feet right here. The next one, if you go down the stairs, he'll actually be holding it, and then if you go into the bathroom, you can then see it on top of this little table bench thing right here. Bring all your shield parts to the workbench inside of the pit room. Go ahead and craft yourself up the brazen bull, and now you have a very powerful shield. This is always a great weapon to use against the big guys. It's actually a very powerful shield. Now if you go ahead and head into the temple room, you can then go ahead and place all the heads on these little spikes right here. Pack-a-Punch will open up, and both doors will completely just collapse. While we're down here, we're also going to be looking for a skull. The skull is very silky looking. It sticks out a little bit. It's smaller, and it has a blue symbol on its head. Now, this can spawn pretty much anywhere down here, except for in the little fire areas. It can spawn between the 2 wooden doors and also up on the stairs area as well. It can basically spawn anywhere except for in between the little fire things. It can't spawn anywhere between there, but it can spawn up against the it's just really confusing, but there's no really way for me to tell you where they all spawn, but they can spawn all the way down here pretty much in most places. Now you're gonna want to look for it. It looks like this right here. Pull your specialist out, and you don't have to. You have to pull it out. Actually, not like hit it. Pull it out. It'll fall on the ground. Collect it, and now you're ready for a future step. Once you're ready, you can then go ahead and move on to doing some other stuff as well. While you're down here, go ahead and collect these 2 parts. The first one is going to be a cog right underneath the cage in the corner of this like little fire area where I told you this couldn't spawn, and also a chain which is also on a torch right in the other fire pit area right here. You can actually just go in a circle and collect both parts. They are also in the same spots always. With these 2 things, you can then go ahead and head over to the Danu/Raw tunnel area in the underground and shoot this little flaming pot. It should fall on the ground and a giant fire should occur. Now, if you go up to the surface on the Raw/Danu bridge, you can then see a fiery arrow pointing toward one of the 4 temples on the map. Now, a head will spawn in a guaranteed location on one of these temples. Whichever one the fire arrow is pointing at, that's where the head is going to be. The stone head, of course. If you already got the Death of Orion from the mystery box, you do not need to do this, by the way. But I will show you all 4 locations just in case it's not clear enough. For Raw, it can actually spawn in the underground area in the sarcophagus room, right in this corner here. The next one in the Danu room can actually just spawn right against this tree right here. For the Odin one, it can actually just spawn in the fire, actually, in one of these fire things in the corner right here. And for the Zeus one, it can actually just spawn in the bloodbath right in the corner of it right here. Now that you've got this head, go ahead and bring it over to one of the 2 poison traps. Now, before you do anything, go ahead and build the traps with all the parts we collected previously. Build it on this skull right here in the the Raw/Danu temple entrance. Place the head right on this little, like, a draining thing before you activate the trap. Then activate the trap. Poison should then spew all over the head, and after it ends, the head should now be melted, and a little tiny scorpion will be there. Pick up the scorpion. Now you have a chance to get a message called a gift from Sir Ket that the priest will say. If this happens, that means someone will gift you something. And if you're in the arena, you'll notice it, but it can also happen underground. After you hear that, go ahead and run around the arena above and look for a tiny little gold jar like this. If you pick that up, now we're ready to get the Death of Orion. Head to the Danu temple and melee this tree hole right here. It should place the scorpion inside. Then you can place the jar right underneath it by interacting with it. And after a round, it doesn't have to be a full round. The poison jar will fill up. Take the poison jar and hit it and make it go in the mystery box by interacting with the corner of the mystery box. It should now turn green, hit the box, and it has a 100% chance to give you the Death of Orion. And this is the free guide for the wonder weapon, which we need twice in the Easter egg. So now that we have this, we can begin working on pleasing Danu. I would say Danu is probably the longest one to take to please, especially since you need a ton of things and you need to transfer a lot of rounds. You also need a lot of ingredients. The first one is the bone dust, or the bone dust thing. I don't know. Put the skull in one of 3 locations of a skull grinder inside the flooded crypt. It can spawn in 3 of these little, like, weird tunnel-like things where this spawns for me. It can only spawn in this room, by the way, guys, so just look for it in the room, and then once you do it, place the skull in there and consistently shoot a charge shot with the wonder weapon at it. This will make it continuously grind, and after it finishes, the skull will then turn to bone dust. Collect the bone dust. Now you need a piece of wood. Now, the piece of wood can be gathered from a axe man, the axe guy. I don't know sure what it's called, but get the warrior, I believe, to use his axe and throw it at one of these flaming things in the middle of the arena. This, if you use it properly and his axe goes through the piece of wood, it should fly off this thing and you can collect it. Bring this wood down into the Odin place and place it in one of these like handcuff-like things. This should now melt. Now, it should take a few rounds for this to fully become burnt, but now you need poo. not a joke, you actually need to get as low crowd affinity as possible. And the way you get this is mainly by going in fire. Just continue to walk in fire. You don't have to die. Just continue to walk in fire, and it'll continue to go down. Once you get that guaranteed thumbs up, now the gift that they'll give you is poo. Once you do, all you do with this is just run over it. You should collect it, and that is one of the parts we need. After a while, the wood should now become fully burnt. Collect it, and now you have all the resources. Collect this and put it in one of the bowls in the Zeus underground blood bath. And now you need to wait a couple rounds for this to become like fertilized, basically. So you just wait for it to become fertilized, and in the meantime, you also need blast furnace on a weapon, so definitely get that. You have to get it on not the Helion Salvo, sadly, but just get blast furnace on a weapon. And after a while, it should become green and begin smoking. Collect that and bring it over to the Danu area. Place it on the ground, and then you have to wait another few rounds for it to start smoking green again. Now, once you do get this start to smoke green again, you're going to have to get a kill with your blast furnace weapon on top of this weird fertilizer stuff. So when you do that, the screen will flash, and then after that there should be a blue thing on where the fertilizer is. Now you're gonna have to pretty much just stand there in the round and hold interact, or just stand on that. Eventually your character should say quote, and the screen should once again flash. Now, once you do this, this will say the corruption consumes, and you cannot do this if there's about to be a max ammo round, so just keep that in mind. But you then will have to want to, I recommend before you do this to get homunculus. These are from the box, and they're basically like monkey bombs. But once you do this, simply just throw a homunculus, go ahead and use stock option, and instantly begin firing your weapon at the spores. They should slowly begin to pop, and you're going to need to shoot the ones that doesn't pop. And after a while, once you put a ton of ammo into this final spore, it should pop. A max ammo should come out. Then you can go ahead, and whenever you feel like you need a homunculus is about to run out, throw it. You should have enough, especially since you have equipment as well. Continue on to the next level. Shoot the spores on this tree. Once those explode, you get another max ammo. Then you'll make your way up to the final floor, shoot all these spores. They should then pop, and then it should flash green and flash, and then it should say Danu has been appeased. Now you finished probably the longest of all four of the people. Now it's time to go over all the locations of the shield bull things. Now what you're going to need to do with these shield bull things is shoot them with your firing mode of your brazen bull. Now these have a ton of spawn locations, and there's going to be a grand total of 4 of them. I'm going to go over all the spawn locations right now. I believe at least all I know, and once again these will be in the description. The first one is in the arena on this weird red wall all the way up there. The next one is going to be through the Zeus tower, and while you're on the bridge, it should just be on this wall here on the Zeus tower. Go ahead and go through the Odin wall all the way into the underground, and then it should be in this tunnel way right here. And if you make your way into the pit, it can then spawn right beside the brazen bull building station. Then you can go ahead and make your way into the temple, and on this wall inside the temple barrier entrance right here. In the crypt, it can spawn in this wooden doorway right here. And it can also spawn through this doorway on this wall right here. And inside the Raw Temple, it can also spawn right above this torch right here. And finally, another location, I believe, is right outside of the Danu Temple, right on the crowd benches outside the Danu window beside the Danu perk machine. Now, I hope this is all the spawn locations. This is at least all the ones I know about. Just look outside the map. Mainly all the ones are underneath the map outside of some barriers. Shoot all this with your shield, and then it'll spawn an axe guy. Kill the axe guy. A soul will then come out and goes to the Raw step. You'll know you completed this step because the priest will say Raw has awakened. Now, if you're just starting out on Black Ops 4 or in the 9 Easter egg, I'm going to try and explain this step as clearly as possible. Once Raw has awakened, you're going to want to head to the top of this temple. There will be a blue symbol on this pillar thing in the middle of the map. Interact with this whenever you have full ammo, or you have a good amount of ammo in your death or circuits. Kiss. A wonder weapon. After you do this, it'll flash, and a bunch of symbols will appear from bottom to up on the symbol. on the pillar. You're going to want to keep track of which ones flash in order. So, and I have a cheat sheet here. This will represent each of the different enemy types. So basically, Brawler, by the way, is the knife guy, and the warrior, I believe, is the axe guy. Now, what you're going to want to do with this is then a bunch of zombies will spawn in. You're going to want to kill all of the zombies shown from bottom to up on the key thing, on the pillar thing, in order. So, if you fail this, it'll flash, and you'll have to redo this step in the next round. Now, once you finish this step, it'll then flash, and then you have to do the exact same step again. Now, this will get tricky, especially since fire is probably one of the most annoying ones, so just keep track of fire, because it can explode and kill other zombies and itself, and mess up the order. Bright Father is also on there, but it's not too common, and it's honestly not too hard with the Death of Orion, so just take it down. Once you do this for the second time, Ra will be pleased, and you will have finished the second pleasing step. Probably the hardest, honestly. Now it's time to figure out the true reason we equipped PhD Flopper, or Slider, sorry. You are going to want to hit the box until you get a weapon called the Helion Salvo. An overpowered weapon. Now, this weapon, honestly, we couldn't use it on the Danu step because it's too strong. Now, PhD Slider makes it immune since it's an explosive weapon, but this is very useful for the next step. So, try Pack Punch this to maximum Pack-a-Punch by double Pack Punching it over and over again, I believe 4 or 3 times. And once you get a thingy, you're ready to go. If you can get Dead Wire as well, that would be epic. Or I believe it's called like something else, like electricity. Just get the electric one, and then you'll be good to go. Now, after you do this, you are going to want to interact with the pillar in the middle of the arena. Once you do this, you're then going to want to and then it will instantly teleport you to the bottom of the map. You are going to have to go find 4 different, weird things around the map. Shoot them twice or 3 times with your upgraded rocket launcher. Now, you're just going to have to shoot the bottom. You don't have to shoot the actual, pillar thing connecting to the ceiling. Just shoot this thing. You'll know it's completed because when you shoot it again, it will not go up in the air. It'll then twirl around and then go up and make a sound. This will be happening 4 times. It's always through a barrier, by the way. Most of them are just through the crypt and also through the pit. Just make a full circle. It's never in the temple, by the way. Just make a full circle around the underground area. There won't be too many zombies as long as you do this at the end of the round. And just continuously shoot the bottom of these weird pillar things. After you do that, you can then exit the back of the map, and then there will be 4 electric pillars around the arena. Now, this is why you need kilowatt on your weapon. Now, don't even worry about the Helion Salvo not making it go on the zombies. That doesn't matter. But there will be a ton of big guys spawning on round. This being the brawlers and the axe guys. Now, there will be little tiny circles around every single corner or every single place on the arena. So there's one right beside each of the gates and in between the Zeus, Danu, and Ra. And pretty much in between every single arena, there's just going to be a little tiny electrical circle. Your goal is to kill 2 of these big guys or 3 inside of these circles and get their soul with kilowatt charged onto this beam pillar thing. Now, you have to kill them inside these circles, and you only have to kill 2 to 3 of these big guys inside the circle. Their souls will be absorbed into the pillar, and you'll know that pillar is done whenever it'll be flashing a blue color. You have to do this with all 4. Now, once you do this, it will then interact with the center of the arena where we previously just interacted with, and then there will be 4 blue glowing orbs on every single one of the pots in the podium. Once you're ready and just ready with everything, interact with one of these orbs. It'll then take you into a little tiny boss-like thing. And then there will be a ton of tigers, a ton of brawlers, and a ton of axe guys that spawn in. Your specialist is infinite here, so feel free to use that, but and that's actually very, very useful, and it'll be infinite as well. And just use your hammer or whatever specialist you want. And then you can also use your Helion Salvo as well. It's not mandatory to use your Specialist. You can use your Helion Salvo. One shot's pretty much everything. But with your Specialist, you do have armor points sometimes, so that could be very useful. Just kill as many as you can. It can be tricky sometimes. You can't take a lot of damage. If you do that, just run away. Your Specialist will be infinite, and you can have armor points. And to gain those armor points, you have to kill things. But once you complete this, it'll flash again on the screen, and then it'll say Zeus has been appeased. Now we need probably the easiest, Odin. This is the step where you're going to want the Circuit's Kiss Wonder Weapon. Come over to this pillow in the Danu tunnel and constantly shoot. And you can spam it while clicking shoot and reload with the Circuit's Kiss to spam it. You'll know when you shoot this symbol correctly that it'll glow. A little blue glowing orb will appear on it. That's how you know you've completed this one. You can see it shoot with your Circuit's Kiss in different places around the symbol. And the next one's actually through the crypts right on this wall through this barrier here. And once again, just try to shoot it in different spots of the symbol. You'll know you do it because it'll summon a blue orb right on that symbol. And the next one is once again through another tunnel, through this little like crack-like thing. It's basically just through another barrier. And once you complete all three of these and you shoot them in the same order, it'll be very, very nice, because now you can move on to the defend step already, the pleasing step already. Now, what you have to do with this pleasing step is just stand and interact on this little pedestal in the pit right in front of the shield right here. Once you do this, it'll then flash green. A max ammo will spawn. Well, actually, I don't know if a max ammo will spawn, but basically, you'll just be transported into this little defense step. You basically have 3 waves of this. The first wave is pretty simple. You just have to survive a bunch of zombies. Use homunculuses if you have to. Remember, you have equipment as well as you also have max ammos, and your Helion Salvo should be overpowered here, but you can train, you can camp with the shield, you can literally just use your hammer, you can throw homunculuses whenever you need to. I recommend you do that when a bunch of tigers spawn in. This first wave is pretty simple. Just survive it, and you'll know you completed this first wave because a max ammo will spawn in. Well, if you do this, and if you're pretty low on ammo, you can just, or like have no homunculuses, just try to use them, and then once you're ready, pick up the max ammo when you need it. Now you're just going to need to survive the second wave. You'll get a lot of tigers and a little bit more brawlers and stuff as well, but still nothing crazy. Once you complete this, a max ammo will once again spawn. Pick this up once you're ready again, and the third wave is just a bunch of Blight Flothers. The Helion Salvo is insane against the Blight Flothers, and nothing really too crazy once again happens. I recommend you throw homunculuses in the Blight Flother stage, however, just so you're safe. You have 2 of these things, and they last for a good amount of time. And just kill all the zombies, and once again, you'll know it's completed because no zombies will be on the map whatsoever. Just go up to this little, draining thing right here. Press interact. You should then pick up a key, and then you'll have pleased Odin. At this point, all 4 of the people should now be pleased, and now we're ready for boss fight. Get perks, get the Helion Salvo especially, and get homunculuses, and get everything you need. Make sure all your weapons are pack-a-punch and fully pack-a-punched. Once you're ready, enter the boss fights. You'll be in this massive arena. This boss fight is really easy, so it shouldn't be too hard. The first stage, a gate will slowly open, and a bunch of these big guys will spawn in. The Helion Salvo should mostly one-shot these guys. Remember, you have homunculuses. I kind of forgot I had these, but they'll actually drop max ammos very frequently as well, but just kill all the big guys that spawn in. Once you kill enough of these big guys, eventually the giant elephant will come through the gate and smash the fire thing. To kill this elephant, you simply just don't even care about the people on top of the elephant shooting at you. Just continue to move as well. It can smash you, but throw homunculuses, and the big guys should go after those. Don't worry. You can use a max ammo just to replenish your homunculuses. Max ammos are very common in this boss fight. But just throw homunculuses and attack the elephant's side, like diamond, red, ruby-like thing right here. Its armor should then just fall off, and then you need to shoot either its face, like its glowing face, or its heart, which will now be exposed. Once you do this, the elephant will make a noise and then fall over on its side and then completely disappear. This will be the first elephant done. After a while, another elephant will spawn in, this one being the same, actually. So just shoot the elephant's side once again, throw homunculuses. Once, after a while, the armor will fall off, shoot its face, shoot its heart. It should then fall once again. And no problem, no hard work at all. The elephants will fall, and then you'll get your ending cutscene. Congratulations, you have completed 9. Honestly, the hardest part about this boss fight is, and the hardest part about this Easter egg is definitely the first 2 pleasing steps, Ra and Danu. They both take, the first one takes a little bit of time, and Ra, it can be pretty tricky with the puzzle step. Once you complete this Easter egg, you'll then have completed 9. It is a very, very fun Easter egg, I must admit, with a very cool boss fight, though easy, very fun. And that'll be it for today's guide. Hopefully next guide will be like maybe a non-Treyarch mode, maybe Spaceland. I did a poll asking. But hopefully you guys had a great day today, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.